Well, hello, my little Bumbabees, and welcome back to the Bumbacast. That's right, it's me, your girl, Teresa Bumbacco, here on today's, 49th episode? 40... It's because I need two hands. No. What? Yeah, 49th. Yeah. I don't know what to do. I don't have my headphones on today because I wanted to go with a little classy look for the holidays. I've got the blue light on me right now because I just like the blue effect. Look at it's bringing out the silvers, the glow, the highlight. It's bringing it all together. So welcome into my holiday special. I don't know what's going to make it a holiday special really until I start getting into editing this thing here. I'll probably put things in here you know, I know I'm gonna definitely put clips of Ozzy Osbourne hating Christmas in here, that's for sure, because Christmas is a time of year where, we want to be with our loved ones and we want to spend time with those that matter most to us, and we want to feel loved by those and want those to be wanting to spend time with us as well, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't fucking know. But yeah, and sometimes it's not always like that, Sometimes, life comes at you fast and hard and then kicks you right in the fucking ass and you don't know what the hell is happening. So, to everybody that's out there with your families and your whole and everything, good for you. Good for you. And then to everybody that, struggles, has family members that they're in no contact with, trying to go no contact with, people that, they haven't heard from, people that they want to hear from, people that they want to spend the holidays with and they can't, understand that you can look like this and still have those same problems. So, you could be ugly and, half retarded out there, but, you could also still look like this and have all those problems. So, is it really worth it? Pretty privilege doesn't exist. It doesn't. It doesn't. So, hitting the tapping the Benjamin over here. But I have a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of things going on. Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle, were murdered, allegedly, by their son, Nick. Allegedly, we have to say. Nick is currently on suicide observation and solitary confinement. There's really not much to say. I don't really want to talk about this too much until investigation is concluded. Trial has begun. If we're doing that, if there's not going to be a plea deal, looks like dude man that represented Karen Reid stepped in and is representing Nick Reiner in this case. So it looks like they're going to try to fight it in some instance or another. I know that this guy has been diagnosed with schizophrenia and he has all kinds of mental health problems and past addiction issues, which has been made very public. And a lot of people are bringing up clips of this, podcast interviews, clips of Rob Reiner talking about it, et cetera, et cetera. But I just want to say it's just devastating. It's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, it's like, it's really bad when it's a situation like this where, there's really not any logical explanation, right? It's just this kid is, just not well in the fucking head, right? And there was nothing that happened to him that, that I know of, anybody else knows of, that happened to him that would make him do such a thing like this. It's kind of crazy, but, we'll get into that when the time comes, but, rest in peace to Rob Reiner. Yet another heinous murder committed in the Brentwood community of California. It's crazy. The Menendez Nicole Brown and, Ron Goldman, and now, Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner. It's really sad, and my heart goes out to, Jake and Tracy and Romy Reiner. It's really fucked up, so I don't want to get too heavy in the beginning there, so without further ado, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and let's get into the pop culture news number 49, shall we?
Back when they thought pink polos are hurt the rock, before Cam got the shit to pop, the doors was closed. I felt like bad boy street team, I couldn't work the locks. Now let's go, take them back to the plan. Me and my mama hopped in that U-Haul van. Any pessimists, I ain't talk to them.
All right, my little Bumbabees. First up on the docket here, we're going to be talking about this kind of nutty fucking thing that I came across. Like, I don't even know, okay? I don't even know. I don't know if this was like a known thing, if this is something I just never knew about, but like, let me tell you, it's fucking weird. Like, and also like, is he okay? Guillermo del Toro apparently was at some kind of thing or whatever. It was getting asked a question, and he was asked like what the worst like thing in his life was, or like what was something worse than the other, and he said that like working with the Weinstein brothers was worse than like the time that his father was kidnapped.
Having a wonderful Christmas time.
What are you talking about? What do you mean his father was kidnapped? Okay, so let's get into this article here that I pulled from Deadline.com. Yeah. So 1997 was a memorable year for most, as the year that wasn't that the year? No, it was 90. Yeah, it was 97 that we lost Biggie. It was 96 that we lost Tupac. So 97 was a huge year. We lost Biggie. 97 was a more memorable year, not just because we lost Biggie, but for Guillermo del Toro for two reasons. Because his father was kidnapped in Guadalajara, Mexico, and after a turbulent experience with Bob and Harvey Weinstein on his sophomore feature Mimic, the film was released. But which was worse to deal with, the kidnapping or the Weinsteins? The Weinsteins, hands down, Del Toro told Deadline's Mike Fleming Jr. in an appearance at Contenders Film Los Angeles on Saturday. This was a couple weeks ago, so you know what, I'm delayed on some of this. Because on the other thing, you knew what they wanted. The Weinsteins, who the fuck knew what they wanted? Nothing good. Sharing that there's images and moments in Mimic that come from that ordeal, Del Toro noted that his Weinstein brothers debacle unfortunately lasted more than 72 days and was far more unpredictable of a scenario to grapple with than what he had while teaming with Avatar helmer James Cameron to get his father back in an experience he said bonded the two filmmakers as brothers. Poor Guillermo. Del Toro was on hand at the DGA Theater to help Deadline's inaugural Contenders Hall of Fame award, as well as to discuss his latest film, Frankenstein, which he said marketed the culmination of more than 30 years of career and 50 years of obsession. During the sit-down, it basically just can be summarized into him going, fuck AI, is what he ends up saying. Del Toro said AI may be useful for architecture, chemistry, medicine, but as far as art, I don't think any artist raised their hand and said, can we have AI? I don't think so. No, we didn't. There are situations, I understand, to use certain things, or if like, you want to just like make something like stupid and small or whatever, but we definitely need to figure out a more ecologically friendly. It's the heater. We need to figure out a more like ecologically like friendly way to have AI, because like it just doesn't like it doesn't feel right. That it uses this much water, like fresh water. Why are we using fresh water? Something so I don't understand. They're trying to kill us. It's going to be Wally. It's going to be fucking Wally out here. Okay. Anyway, So anyway, he also said AI knows what has been done. It doesn't know what to do next. It's not a human. When it comes to AI, whether we'll see the moment, he considers the threshold when people are willing to pay $12 to $13 to watch a film or listen to a song made by artificial intelligence. If that happens, then we'll get the movies we deserve, I'm afraid to say. And he's right. He's right. He's right. He's right. But we didn't even tap more on the whole kidnapping thing of his father. His father was eventually returned, but like crazy time. Like he's like trying to work on like his fucking like second movie ever, and his father's kidnapped in fucking Guadalajara, Mexico. And he's trying to deal with the Weinstein brothers. Like, could you fucking even imagine? Like, I couldn't even imagine. So, yeah, that happened. So, wanted to let you guys know about that. Yep. All right. This is another fun one. Matthew, none of these are time sensitive. These are just kind of like fun things, you know? So Matthew McConaughey a couple weeks ago sat down and had an interview and talked about what led him to finding the love of his life, Camilla, that he's married to and has children with. He shared that he met his wife, Camilla, via this People magazine article 3 months after an awakening that led him to stop searching so hard for the right woman. He said, in my mid-30s, I was looking for a lifetime lover, a best friend, and a mother-to-be. I was looking for more. I was looking for the one. I was looking for her. I guess that's what he wrote on his November 21st Lyrics of Living newsletter per Us Weekly. Then I had a wet dream.
What?
As men do. In the dream, he explained he was celebrating his 88th birthday with his 22 happy wives and 88 children. This sounds like Dewey Cox, like the end of Dewey Cox. Like, this is literally the end of Walk Hard.
He's introduced a whole new generation to the magic of Dewey Cox. You could even play together, Cox and Little Nutsack. What a package.
I don't think he had that many wives when it's all said and done. I think it's literally just like the two. And then he had like, you know, his baby mamas and like mistresses and stuff. But like, this is Walk Hard. This is the end of Dewey Cox's life. Each mother and I shared an idyllic memory. The children roosted upon my lap. We hugged, we kissed, we laughed and joked. We cried tears of happiness. They all gathered around me on the porch for a family photograph, and we looked toward a large format box camera on a tripod at the top of the driveway. 3, 2, 1. Then I came.
All right, we got a situation.
Yes.
Money can't buy your class.
It's exactly what you would expect Matthew McConaughey to say. Like, what do you expect? I mean, this man was like arrested in like 1999 because like his neighbors heard him banging the bongos way too loud in his house, like, you know, and called the police on it, which I think is crazy. I mean, yeah, maybe if it's like too loud or something like at a certain time of night, like I get that, calling the police, like, you know, whatever, if he won't shut up. But like what led to him being arrested, like, dumb. Just tell him to fucking whatever. Anyway, so moving on. For him, it was an indication that he needed to simply take life day by day. It was a spiritual sign, a message to surrender, to quit trying to intentionally to find the perfect woman for me and rather concede to the natural selection process of finding her finding me, or not. So I quit looking for her. Ultimately, it worked. 3 months later, I met Camilla. So if you're looking out there, I mean, it could be as easy as that. You know, one night you're sleeping and you have your Dewey Cox finale dream and then all of a sudden 3 months later,
No, my wife Camilla is buried out here.
you meet Camilla. So I don't know. I mean, like, that's kind of, is it sweet? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you just want somebody to love you. Matthew McConaughey is going to do it in his way. And I guess, like, that's the way he does it. So, I mean, if she's happy with it, more power to her. The article goes on to say today, Camilla and the Interstellar star share kids. Levi, 17, Vita, 15, and Livingston, 12. And the journey he took to get to this point has been well worth it. It's even positively impacted his work. Having children, I know, has made me a better artist and a better actor. Kids see things for the first time all the time. Their questions are innocent. I've become a storyteller because I have kids. All right. I mean, yeah, you know, good for him. I mean, I have nothing against Matthew McConaughey. Like, he's fucking far out there. Don't get me wrong. But I like Matthew McConaughey. I like him. What's wrong with him? Absolutely fucking nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. Is that a little weird? Yeah. Would I want my man sharing that? No, probably not. But I mean, you know, I would also want my man speaking about my love in a public way that, like, you know, says, yeah, I'm with her. And will you, like, what's going on down there? You know, to speak about me in a public way that's not like, oh, you know, like, oh, I'm just going to keep it on the down low. So, like, people don't know that we're together. Come here. Okay. Merry Christmas from Snoop. Okay. But, you know, I mean, good for them. Good for them. They're fucking happy. What can you do? I think love will conquer all, right, Snoop? I mean, you know, love conquers all. I mean, if you want to have it, it will conquer all.
So this is Christmas for weak and for strong.
You stinky man. Ooh. All right. Next up on the docket. Let's get to it. Okay, so this story is a few weeks old as well. I've been holding on to it for a minute, but it was pretty crazy. I didn't see too many people talking about it, but like it was here and there on like local news and like, you know, other like major news outlets in the sense of like ABC, NBC, like that kind of thing, like if you were paying attention. So, do you guys remember when there were like these two girls or two friends or whoever the hell that like took on the identity of like Slenderman or whatever, that like creepy thing from the internet, like the tall creature man? I don't know what the hell his lore is and what that's about, but that's a thing. And these girls murdered a friend or someone they knew. Like, they're like young. I mean, like, you know, this is like before high school age they did this. I think. Pretty sure. So, you know, whatever. And so anyway, yeah, so they did this in the name of Slenderman. Yeah, one of them escaped from where they were being held. So let's talk about that for a second. So according to this article from ABC News, Slenderman stabbing assailant Morgan Geyser waived her right on Tuesday to an extradition hearing, clearing the way for Illinois authorities to bring her back to Wisconsin, where she allegedly cut off her ankle monitor and fled a group home over the weekend. The 23-year-old Geyser's court appearance came a day after the Wisconsin district attorney, whose office prosecuted her in the high-profile 2014 stabbing case, called on the state Department of Health Services to send her back to a mental institution where she needs to be. During Tuesday's brief court appearance in Chicago, a judge told Geyser, who was in handcuffs and dressed in a blue jumpsuit, that authorities in Waukesha, or Waukesha, probably not Waukesha, Waukesha? It's probably Waukesha. I probably said it right. County have 30 days to transport her back to Wisconsin. So I don't know what's going on now, but this is the article. Hopefully it'll be much quicker than that, and you can get back there and get this matter resolved, the judge told Geyser. A Wisconsin judge signed an order in September allowing Geyser a conditional release from a psychiatric facility where she had been held for a decade to a group home in Madison. At the time, prosecutors objected to her conditional release, alleging she had violent communication with a man outside the facility and had read a book in the facility with themes of sexual sadism and murder. So basically, she's on like her pre-Gypsy Rose shit. Thank you, universe. I see that 333. Before Gypsy Rose is like, out of prison, with Ken, has a baby. I don't know what the hell's going on with her either. Like, she's selling paintings. I don't know. Anyway, as part of the conditions of her release, Geyser was ordered to wear an ankle monitoring device. On Saturday night, Geyser allegedly cut off her monitoring device and bolted her from group home with a 43-year-old person she told authorities she met a couple months ago at a church event, according to a criminal complaint. Following a massive search, Geyser and her companion were captured on Sunday night at a Posen, Illinois truck stop more than 165 miles from Geyser's group home. I gotta ask my friend that lives in Illinois about this. Like, did you see this on the news anywhere? I don't even know where it is in relation to where she is or whatever the hell, but whatever. I should ask. I should have asked. Geyser's companion, identified by the Posen Police Department as Chad Mecca of Madison, was charged with criminal trespassing and obstructing identification, police said. Mecca was released on a citation and notified to appear in court on January 15th. Waukesha County District Attorney Leslie Bowes, whose office prosecuted Geyser in the 2014 stabbing case, expressed her hope that the State Department of Health Services, which has custody of Geyser, will file a petition to revoke the conditional release she had been granted. When we learned of Morgan's escape over the weekend, it unfortunately validated the concerns we have raised from the very beginning, Bowes said. We have been consistently and adamantly opposed to her release because her conduct has repeatedly demonstrated she poses a risk to the community. Bowes added, her alleged actions this weekend only reinforce our position that a conditional release is unsafe and unacceptable. But attorney Anthony Cotton, who represented Geyser in the stabbing case, told Juju Chang, co-anchor of ABC's Nightline, on Monday that Geyser does not present a danger to her victim, the public, or to herself.
I went on Wood Ride. God bless me.
The question becomes, going forward, is she still a risk to society? And I stand by every word of what I've said earlier. She is not a violent risk to others. I don't believe that she is, and that's why we found out that during her time out, she engaged in no violence whatsoever and had no weapons on her, Cotton said. Cotton said he hopes Geyser will be allowed to go back to a community group home. It will certainly present complications because we're going to have to go back to court eventually to try to get Morgan back into a community group home, Cotton said. So definitely this is not a good development and something that's going to have a negative impact on the work we do. It's a setback. Geyser and another girl, Anissa Ware, were charged as adults and pled guilty to stabbing a classmate, Peyton Leutner, 19 times in 2014 when they and the victim were 12 years old. Geyser and Ware, who were both prosecuted as adults, claimed they committed the attack on Leutner to appease Slenderman, a faceless fictional internet-based character that garnered a cult-like following. Geyser pled guilty to first-degree attempted intentional homicide and was sent to the Winnebago Mental Health Institute in 2018. Geyser was later found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect and was sentenced to up to 40 years in a psychiatric institution. Ware was also found not guilty by mental disease or defect after pleading guilty to a lesser charge. She was sentenced to up to 25 years in a psychiatric institution. In 2021, at the age of 19, Ware was granted supervised release. So she got out and didn't cause no problems. This one is clearly a fucking problem. And now she's like causing even more problems. Like, girl, you're like 11 years in. Girl. You're 11 years in and you're still
Confusing sometimes to be a girl.
You're never getting out now, girlie. You're in there. They know it. You're full-blown fucking cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You fucking flew over the cuckoo's nest a long time ago. And no shade to the crazies out there. No shade at all, you know? Like, I empathize. And I, like, I'm like, sometimes I'm like,
It's me, Jessica.
especially when I, like, see somebody with schizophrenia, I'm like, you know what? They fucking know. Like, I mean, especially with the government shit and, like, they're saying this one's watching that one. They're right. They're not wrong. Okay? The way they present it is a little off, but, at the end of the day, they're not as crazy as we think. So, but yeah, no, keep her in there. Keep her in there. She don't need to come out. Like it's like a horror movie, right? Like, you see these people that like need to be in institutions like this. They get put in institutions and then eventually like they come to a point in their adulthood where it's like, okay, now it's time to like let them go and they can do like supervised release or they can do this. And then like they go out and like do something crazy. I mean, like, yeah, she was only trying to get out. I guess this time to go be with some 43-year-old or whatever the hell. But at the same time, like,
Let's go, girls.
what were they going to go do?
I want to light my house on fire right now. Burn it down.
I don't know. What were they talking about? How did this happen? How are they communicating? And this is what I want to know. How are they communicating enough to get to a point of meeting up for her to like cut off her ankle monitor and escape? So she was on supervised release. So she cut off her ankle monitor. So they weren't monitoring her very well. They never do. They never fucking do, man. They don't monitor you for anything. Even if you're like doing something like right now, and it's not like, oh, you did your time, you're out, you're on, we're watching you now. No. So they're never fucking watching you. They're never watching you. They're watching everybody else, but they're not watching the people they should be fucking watching. Nope. Okay, so on to the next one because we got to talk about this because this is a weird one. Okay, so this story did have a conclusion. I did not print out a follow-up conclusion or anything like that, but we don't really need anything other than the fact that I know what happened. So, okay, here we go. Per this article from Rolling Stone, I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but Tara Reid, God bless her. I mean, she's gone through a lot, right? I mean, she's definitely one of those people in the industry who was probably subject to a lot of fucking like sexual harassment. I don't want to allege anything beyond that because I've never. Something itching me right here, honey. I don't want to allege anything further because I've never personally heard her say anything. But I can imagine, right? So, just from the time that she's famous and the time that she was like doing all this stuff, like, and I know that over the years she's battled with like substance abuse issues and sobriety and whatnot. I don't know exactly what she's done. I don't know if it was like a drinking thing, a drug thing, a pill thing. I don't know. But, I know she struggled. And I know she struggled with like, eating issues and stuff like that or whatever. Because she was in the height of like, the heroin chic, like fucking 000 or nothing. Like, I mean, are your fucking hip bones protruding out? Sorry, honey, not cute. This was like during a time when like it's not even like if you didn't look like that, you didn't get booked for jobs. Like you were told you weren't getting booked for these jobs because of something like that. Like you were like belittled. like, I mean, people still are behind closed doors, I feel like, but maybe not as, like, aggressively because, they're more scared of, like, the Me Too shit now. But it still happens, for sure, and it's an unspoken thing. So, let's go on. So Tara Reid, according to this article from Rolling Stone, was willing to prosecute someone after being allegedly drugged at a hotel bar. So she filed a police report in Illinois after she claimed that her drink was drugged outside of Chicago at a hotel bar this weekend that it was reported on. She said that anyone involved in the alleged incident would be prosecuted, which the Rosemont Police Department is investigating at the time of this article. They are no longer investigating. The police report offers Reid's most detailed account yet of what happened last Saturday before she wound up briefly hospitalized. Reid was in the Chicago area for a celebrity signing event, and the night before, she got a drink at the hotel bar. Reid said the lobby was full of people who were supposedly YouTubers who had their phones out, and the whole thing felt suspicious, but I didn't know what was going on, she said. After ordering a glass of wine at the bar, she said someone came up to her and introduced himself as a very successful influencer and YouTuber who was with the group in the lobby. He sat next to her, they spoke, and when Reid said she was going to step out for a cigarette, the influencer said he would go with her. He went out for a smoke, exchanged numbers, and came back. And there was a napkin over my drink, Reid said. Then the last thing I remember was drinking that drink and seeing a couple sitting next to us. The next thing I remember was waking up in the hospital around 8 hours or more later, not knowing where I was or anything that happened. I completely blacked out with no recollection of anything. Reid said her agent somehow found what hospital she'd been taken to and went to pick her up. She claimed the hospital told her she was free to go, and she did not give her any release forms or discharge papers. Reid's agent took her back to the hotel where she got her bag and checked out. Reid claimed that the influencer she sat next to later texted her videos of her at the hotel after the alleged drugging, referring to the video footage obtained by TMZ that showed TMZ slurring her words, that by TMZ that showed Reid slurring her words and sliding off a wheelchair before a medical team took her out on a stretcher. Reid said she thought the influencer was trying to extort her, saying he could stop the videos from going out. The police report ended with her saying the influencer also told me I called security on him, and he also confirmed that I only had one drink. Despite being hospitalized, Reid still attended the autograph event on Sunday, November 23rd, where she posed with fans who'd bought tickets to meet her. An event organizer told Rolling Stone, even though she was late, she did come. I did not hear one bad thing at all. She obviously was very polite and happy to everybody. So I don't know what's going on with Tara Reid, but, God bless. Good luck to you. I don't know what the hell is happening. That's like, it's scary. I mean, like, I've definitely been somewhere where something's been put in my drink, and luckily nothing bad happened to me. I had good people around me. I was brought back to my apartment in New York, and I was safe. So, but it was very weird. Nothing like that's ever happened to me before. So, I don't know if something really did happen. She took something, or she's taking something, and then she had the wine and it set her over the edge, because that's a total possibility too. I don't know if she's on any like medications, or she took something over the counter that, doesn't mix well with alcohol. Who knows? But police have officially closed the investigation because they said there is nothing to report that shows she was drugged or anything like that. Like, nobody was near her drink. They didn't find anything on the hotel security footage. So I don't know what's going on there. So hopefully she all works it out, and, sure, she works it all out. And
we solve any crime by dinner time.
Out there, everybody, cover your drinks. I need to get better about it as well. Like, I just shouldn't even be drinking. Period. So, yeah. Stay safe, everybody. All right. So Nicki Minaj is making headlines because she just was up doing, I don't know what the hell. She's sitting with friggin' Erica Kirk or whatever the hell at a Turning Point USA event. And I know Nicki Minaj is like this pro-Trump, like, conservative person now or whatever the hell. It's really all about the money, really. But she said a lot of weird shit. She was up there. She was like, the assassin, J.D. Vance.
Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
I don't know. And then she was like saying some other weird stuff. And it was just like weird. Like the tension was like, I didn't see too much of it, but like, I don't know what the hell. She's just trying to get paid because of this article that I'm talking about right now. So this happened. This was before the Turning Point USA thing. So I had, got this article a couple weeks ago, put it down, whatever. But the Turning Point USA thing happened just a couple days ago, whatever. So here we go. A judge plans to force the sale of Nicki Minaj's $20 million mansion to pay security guards judgment.
The rumors.
Okay, so the rapper and her husband were previously ordered to pay a security guard $500,000 for his broken jaw and other damages, but so far they have refused to pay, the man says. A Los Angeles judge said she's on the brink of ordering the sale of Nicki Minaj's $20 million Hidden Hills mansion so a security guard can collect on the default judgment he won after suing the rapper and her husband over his alleged backstage assault at a concert in Germany. So my tentative is to grant this, the judge said. I just want to make sure we're getting it right. The guard's lawyer, Paul Sasso, argued that the sale would almost certainly yield millions more than necessary to cover everything. And if it didn't, they could deal with that possibility at a later date, he said. But the judge wouldn't budge, saying she wanted the bank statement first. As I understand it, that's the only piece missing. Everything else looked good. She set up a follow-up hearing for January 22nd to receive the pending paperwork and enter her ruling. So we're about a month out from that. So she's got to get a bag before she's got to move out of this house because the judge is going to fucking sell it. That's like crazy. Like, just pay the man. Just pay the man. You're going to like lose your $20 million house just to like pay off $500,000 on it, like on this like judgment.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Dumb. Okay, so unless that's like all you have and like you don't have any other, but this is Nicki Minaj. Like let's be for real. So anyway, plaintiff Thomas Weidenmuller, whatever, filed his application for the order last month, telling the court he tried to enforce the default judgment through less extreme measures, but Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty, have not responded. He says 7 potential garnishees claimed they did not have any accounts payable to Minaj or otherwise failed to respond at all. The 8-bedroom luxury home has $13,258,000 mortgage lien on it, and Minaj, as the sole owner, would be entitled to a $722,151 homestead exemption, the application obtained by Rolling Stone said. With the home recently appraised at $20 million, a sale would yield approximately $6 million in funds once the lien and exception are paid, it estimated. There is no doubt that the sale of the dwelling would satisfy the entire judgment with millions to spare, the application said, although it is regrettable that the extraordinary measure of forcing the sale of Minaj's dwelling is required. That result is entirely the product of her intransigence in not making payment. There is little doubt that she is highly capable of paying the judgment in full, and yet she has refused to do so despite multiple written attempts and requests for payment and levies served upon several of her suspected creditors. Weidenmuller sued the couple in January of 2022, alleging Petty ambushed him from behind and sucker punched him in the face as retribution for Weidenmuller stepping in to defend a female security guard during a dispute with Minaj during the 2019 concert in Frankfurt. So he was waiting 3 years and fucking clocked him. Apparently, Minaj became visibly frustrated and blamed the female guard for allowing a fan to breach the barricade and climb on stage with her. Minaj allegedly started berating the female security guard while recording the exchange. Weidmuller says he stepped in and told Minaj it wasn't fair that the guard's career might be ruined on social media. In response, Minaj allegedly threw a shoe at Weidmuller but missed. Oh, this is the shoe throwing. Weidmuller claims Petty later accused him of disrespecting Minaj and punched him in the face, leaving him stunned and disoriented. I felt a blinding pain in my head, neck, face, and jaw. I could tell that in that instant that something was seriously wrong with my jaw. He said medics called an ambulance to take him to the hospital. He underwent the first of several surgeries and stayed there for 10 days. I now have 5 plates in my jaw, and my jaw has not fully reconstructed. The doctors must still insert implants into my jaw as a part of the reconstruction process. In the interim, the doctors have inserted donor bones from a deceased person into my mouth in order to preserve space for the future implants. Jesus. He previously asked for around 21 grand to cover medical bills and 700 grand for his ongoing injury and emotional pain and suffering. The judge trimmed it down to $503,318 when she awarded the money Friday under a default judgment because Minaj and Petty never responded to the lawsuit. Lawyers told the court that their repeated attempts to serve Minaj and Petty with the complaint were never successful. They mailed copies and sent a process server to the couple's gated community in Calabasas, but never made contact. Reps did not immediately contact Rolling Stone when they sent for comment on Monday. Yeah, that's it. Nothing's going on. Nicki Minaj is just fucking a bad person. So that's what's happening with Nicki Minaj. But and it could make a little bit more sense as to why you may see her, up there sitting with Erica Kirk.
All the small things.
Like why Nicki Minaj at this point in the game? You know what I'm saying?
True care, truth brings.
I feel like, people can argue, whatever. The barbs can come for me, whatever. But, I feel like at the end of the day, isn't it kind of ridiculous to think that Nicki Minaj has some kind of weight to, boost the MAGA turning point shit up?
Right now, black culture is being held captive by influences, songs, and role models. I mean, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B.
Okay, Nicki Minaj is causing dads to leave the home.
Hold on a second. I don't think that's a good role model for 18-year-old black girls. I don't.
Fuck Nicki, she's fake.
And, they're so, pro-ICE and, anti-immigration and shit. She is not an American citizen. Is she one now? Maybe. I don't know, but she was not born here. She's born in what? Trinidad? No, is it Trinidad? I want to say it's Trinidad. But yeah, she wasn't even born here. And they're like, yeah, Nicki Minaj. I'm like, you just want anybody that's on your side. And I get that. People want, you want people to be on your side, but don't you want good people on your side? I mean, Nicki Minaj, she married a rapist murderer. This is not an allegation. I can just say that because that's the truth. That's what his conviction was. Murder, rape. And her brother was doing the same shit, raping and pillaging, whatever the hell's going on over there. I don't know what to tell you. It's fucking dark times. Turning Point USA is so desperate at this point. They're bringing fucking Nicki Minaj up there. And Nicki Minaj is so desperate for money. She's going up there and sitting with Erica Kirk and about to lose her $20 million house because she doesn't even have $500K to pay out for this fucking judgment. But, a security guard that was hired by her.
Summer should be fun.
Attacked by her husband.
That's life.
So, yeah, Nicki. Guess she is a monster.
Motherfucking monster!
All right, on to the next one. Okay, a bit of a scary and also sad one, but also not surprised. So this article from NBC New York. It was kind of like came through, went out the back door. It's like, you have your front door open, your back door open at the same time. You hear those stories about people's houses getting struck by lightning and the lightning goes in the front door, out the back door. You ever heard stories like that? I grew up in the South, even though I don't sound like it. Obviously my family's from New Jersey, but I heard a lot of these stories. I don't know how true they are. I don't know if they're just like, ways of people saying, don't fucking leave all my doors open in my house. Otherwise, we're going to get struck the fuck out or whatever the hell. I don't know. I don't know if that was like a way of them doing it or whatever. But anyway,
he needs more blankets and he needs less blankets.
I'm afraid you're right.
Here we go. I don't know how I got on this tangent about this article. So NBC New York is talking about this. The dust that first responders were breathing in for hours, day after day, following 9/11 has already been blamed for 9,000 lives lost in the years since the 9/11 World Trade Center attacks. But FDNY firefighters are now demanding answers after newfound documents detailing the toxic dust has been found. And we're not talking about like, oh, we found a manila envelope.
Oh, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
The toxic dust. It's not funny. Anyway, so we're not talking about one manila envelope. We're literally talking about boxes.
How could you do this to me?
Of documentation. So let's read this.
Question mark.
Newly discovered documents may reveal that City Hall had additional details about the dangerous, toxic dust that swirled around Ground Zero in the aftermath of the September 11th terror attacks, which has led to the deaths of thousands of first responders. Members of the FDNY and the Firefighters Union are demanding answers after 68 boxes of information were discovered that could provide more insight into the dust which survivors and first responders were exposed to in the days, weeks, and months following the attacks at the World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan. Low-key, I was exposed to it because I fucking went there when it was still a fucking pit. It's just a giant hole in the middle of the city. You know what was holding you back from the hole? A chain link fucking fence, like those little like half C, the cement blockers that they put on like the roads or whatever. Those like situation, not even tall, and like tarps covering the chain link fence and a lot of holes so you could like see in and like you could see the hole.
Now who the fuck did that?
So like, breathing that shit in if you were just there. So live long and prosper, not me. Yeah, like what the fuck? Anyway, so whatever. Let's go on. This is Andrew Ansbro, who's the head of the Uniformed Firefighters Association. He says, my father passed away 2.5 years ago from World Trade Center related illnesses. My family needs to know. Ansbro's union has lost 344. Ansbro's union lost 343 firefighters on 9/11. New York City firefighters demand to know who in New York City government hid those documents, he said. The dust that first responders were breathing in for hours, day after day, has already been blamed for the 9,000 lives lost in the years. Like I said, it's heartbreaking for me as a member of the 9/11 community to realize how much sooner people might have gotten treatment, said Michael Barash, an attorney for World Trade Center exposure cases. The heartbreak was caused by what investigators found earlier in November inside a city office building in Queens. I don't know where these boxes have been. We saw 20 boxes, said New York City Councilwoman Gail Brewer, who noted that she saw the boxes with my own eyes. Brewer previously demanded city agencies reveal what documents they had that could shed new light on air quality at the time. That's what led to the disclosure of 68 boxes of files that had never been shown to victims' families before. I don't know where they came from. I don't know where they've been for the last 20 years. And what's in the documents? It has not been disclosed yet. While we cannot comment on the specifics of pending litigation, the city has begun turning over documents to plaintiffs' counsel, and both parties are working out a schedule to continue the process, said the office for New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Sorry, dude. Rest in peace. It was former NYPD officer James Zadragas' death from respiratory illness that led to the creation of the World Trade Center Health Fund. We know the dust was toxic. We know this from my client, Jimmy Zadragas' autopsy, said Barash, which showed ground glass and benzene and carcinogens in his lung tissue. Okay, so just want to let everybody know. I mean, me personally, I worked in a primary care office and I saw at least 2 people that were on World Trade Center health insurance, one of which was currently in the process of getting something checked out, and one who had something checked out and it was a growth or a tumor. You know, I'm not going to say where. I don't want to give out any details, but, you know, they were part of the cleanup crew in you know, New York City after 9/11. And, you know, sad because, you know, you just know, like, when you see something like that, you know that that's what it is. Like, you know that that's what's probably killing them. That's sad and fucked up. But, you know, hopefully this lawsuit will bring light. Hopefully these documents will not disappear or just be destroyed. And hopefully that woman that said, I saw these with my own eyes, the councilwoman, doesn't, you know, in her house or something, because that's going on lately now too. Friggin' physicists and whoever the hell else, and, you know, fusion energists and scientists, whatever the fuck they are, beyond my learning comprehension or whatever. Getting got in the house, like, scary. Don't like this. Okay, so let's move on to the next, shall we? All right. All right. Reason number 895 to hate Katy Perry coming up at you. So Katy Perry is set to receive a $1.8 million payout from a dying 85-year-old veteran. Okay. She's been having this years-long battle over a Montecito mansion that she bought from him or whatever the fuck. So here we go. He's in the wrong, but she's low-key in the wrong too, because, you know, just give him the house back. You know? I mean, just be like, the house is fucked up. I just want the money back. You know, whatever that I initially paid. I don't even want the money back that I paid. I just want a portion. This guy's dying. He's fucking dying. You're Katy Perry. And now you with Justin Trudeau. Please. Okay, so here we go. Carl Westcott, an 85-year-old disabled veteran and the former owner of the property, had been ordered to cough up $1.84 million per this New York Post article after a judge ruled the pop star lost out on a hefty rental income during the drawn-out fight. The dispute centered on the $15 million estate Perry and her ex, Orlando Bloom, snapped up in one of California's most elite neighborhoods back in July of 2020. So just days after signing the contract, Westcott tried to pull the plug. He claimed that he had been recovering from major back surgery and was under heavy medication that left him too impaired to understand what he was signing. He also pointed to Huntington's disease, the pre-existing neurological condition he was diagnosed with in 2015, as further proof that he lacked the capacity to approve the multi-million-dollar sale. Perry and Bloom's team, however, fired back and insisted the deal was valid and that Westcott had been fully aware of what he agreed to. The superstar's business manager further argued Westcott had seller's remorse after realizing he could have received more money for the property in a fast-climbing market. A judge eventually sided with Perry, ruling that Westcott was coherent, engaged, lucid, and rational at the time he authorized the sale. With that decision, the court shut down his attempt to rescind the deal, although the case still didn't end there. Perry and her ex, Orlando Bloom, originally purchased the $15 million mansion from Westcott in July of 2020. Westcott was diagnosed with Huntington's disease in 2015. Once the sale was officially upheld and Perry financially secured a title to the mansion in May of 2024, she turned around and sued for damages on November 21st, 2025. The fireworks singer argued that the years-long delay prevented her from renting out the property, which she said could have brought in millions. She also claimed that the home fell into disrepair during the dispute, which created a long list of costly fixes. Perry initially sought nearly $5 million from Westcott, combining what she said was more than $3.5 million in lost rental income and more than $1.3 million in needed repairs. Perry sued Westcott for $5 million in damages on November 21st, 2025. After reviewing months of financial documents, property assessments, and expert testimony, the judge agreed that she was owed money, although not the full amount she initially demanded. In the final ruling, the judge awarded Perry roughly $1.84 million, which was made up of a calculated rental value loss minus assets for retained capital and interest, plus an approved repair cost amount per people. The mansion at the center of the controversy, meanwhile, sits on top of a 2.5-acre property and includes 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, multiple guest spaces, ocean views, manicured grounds, an infinity pool, a jacuzzi, and plenty of privacy. Though Perry and Bloom gained legal control of the compound months ago, it remains unclear whether they ever moved in before splitting up in June of 2025. A final judgment hearing connected to the financial settlement is reportedly scheduled for December 30th. The Post has reached out to Perry and reached out to Perry and Bloom's reps for comment. So Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry are making sure that they get $1.58 million from a dying veteran. At this point, right now, is it going to make or break you guys? The end of you and me. I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, like, I think, like, this guy, he's got a lot, it sounds like he's got a lot going on. You know, like, yeah, maybe he was in his right state of mind when he did all this stuff, but, like, you got to pick and choose your fucking battles, I guess. Like, I mean, this wasn't like, you know, I mean, the house was just sitting there. You know, I mean, you could have just moved in. You could have just done what you had to do. Why was it sitting there? Like, why wasn't it, like, you know, why didn't it get I don't know. Whatever, man. You know. I just don't think that's right. I just don't think it's right. I hope he dies before they ever see the money. I hope that's what happens. I hope the guy, you know, he's 85. He's lived a good long life anyway. So hopefully he just says goodnight and then they never see their money. I think that would be good. I think that would be the best case scenario. All right. Have you guys heard about Kate Beckinsale in a while? I haven't either, but apparently she's got a movie coming out and she is playing the long game on weirdest PR train stories that she can provide for late night. So recently she was on Jimmy Kimmel's late night and she gave very weird, bizarre story, anecdote, and I want to tell you about it really quick. So here we go. Kate Beckinsale appeared on Jimmy Kimmel's Late Night to promote her new action movie, Wildcat. And she made a wild claim, no pun intended. I see what they did there, People magazine, that her 26-year-old daughter, Lily Sheen. Okay, I haven't even read the line. Her boyfriend naturally laid 2 eggs in recent months.
I have your perfect formula. Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything to prove that you are a bully and a troll.
The topic of the apparent egg laying occurred as she opened up about the difficult time her family has been through lately. Her mother, Judy, died of cancer at age 78 in July. Her stepfather, Roy, died at 87 in January of 2024. We've had a tough couple of years. Both my parents passed away within the last few years, and literally the only bright spot in the whole time came from him. He laid 2 eggs in a week, is what the bright spot was. When Jimmy Kimmel, 58, asked Beckinsale to clarify who laid an egg, she said that her daughter's boyfriend did, and insisted he produced an egg from his body that had a shell and a yolk. This sounds like someone I know.
People,
the bios, the biopsy. And inside the lump, he found teeth and a spinal column. Yes, inside the lump was my twin.
I don't understand. He went to the bathroom and then was very surprised to find that he had laid an egg. I got very involved in this because I really did need a distraction because everything was so horrible.
Tell me why.
You think like the daughter and the boyfriend are playing like this long game, like they asked like Chat GPT, like, what is the weirdest thing that we can do that we can like convince her of that like will distract her from this and bring her like great joy because she's like fucking weird. I don't know. According to Beckinsale, Sheen's boyfriend shares her daughter with Michael. What? According to Beckinsale, Sheen's boy. None of this makes any sense. She shares her daughter with ex Michael Sheen and was genuinely scared when the incident happened the first time. She described the laid egg as a hard-boiled one. It kind of cooked inside him.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
A rep for Beckinsale declined to comment on the actress's anecdote. She goes on, I thought at first, okay, this is a little bit embellished. Obviously, he can't. This doesn't happen. Also, there's a lot going on in my family, so I kind of went, okay, boyfriend's laid an egg, whatever. And then a week later, my daughter was flying back to New York, which is where I got a text that says, oh my God, he sent it again, and now he's fully freaking out, and he's allergic to tree nuts, so we've had some emergencies, but this was more intense than a tree nut emergency. What? When Kimmel asked Beckinsale whether she believed Sheen's boyfriend's claims, she said, I did because he was so scared. I said to him, is this some kind of attention-seeking thing? Are you putting eggs up your bottom? I think it's quite hard to put an egg up your bottom and then get it up whole without injuring the egg. I think that's a skill. The second time this happened, though, her daughter sent her the photos and she showed them to Kimmel and his sidekick, Guillermo.
Oh, hell no! I did not leave the South Side for this.
How could you do this to me? Question mark.
Jimmy Kimmel said, what in the world? Your daughter's boyfriend is the Easter Bunny. What convinced Jimmy Kimmel after seeing these photos? Was there like fecal matter on the fucking eggs?
Who is Hunky Dory? Who is Hunky Dory? Is that a nickname for someone?
She also says all of them basically said it was some sort of complicated masturbation thing, which it wasn't. And she talked to doctors about it. So it's my favorite thing he's ever done. I really like him anyway. But it's been a while, and I'm ready for another one.
Whatever happened to predictability?
Someone go check on Kate Beckinsale. Someone go check on her. Because you in danger, girl.
You in danger, girl.
Something ain't right there. That's not what I just read. That's not right.
Simply having a wonderful Christmas time. The party's on.
It's not even funny. It's not even a cutesy little weird anecdote. I feel ill. I feel ill. I feel ill. Also, my makeup looks so good. Can we give a shout out? I still fucking do. Like, look at this. I still do it. Fucking bitches. Okay, here we go. Let's go on to the next one, shall we? Because I don't even... Eggs falling out of men's wherever. Where did it even come out of? I don't even want to get into it. Let's not think about it, okay? Moving on to the next one. All right. So, I was gonna talk about Quentin Tarantino in a positive light, in a sense, because he was, calling out the Hunger Games being ripped off by Battle Royale. But we're not even gonna talk about that anymore because he came after Paul Dano, and obviously everyone loves Paul Dano. He is beloved in Hollywood. He's a great actor. I don't understand why Quentin Tarantino would say something like this, but I'm going to give you a little hint. Quentin Tarantino has recently said that he is moving to. Well, he's lived in Tel Aviv for quite some time now, and he has no intention of ever leaving. He loves it there. And Paul Dano has expressed independence for Palestine support. So do with that what you will. Okay, so that's all we're going to say there. I wasn't even going to address it. I'm not even getting into it. I don't even want to get activated because you know what? Took a beta block. Bader. Who am I? Joey Camasta. I took a beta blocker before this, and honestly, it's kind of hard for me to get activated. I'm like, I can get like, into it, but I don't want to get like all amped up. I'm like, whatever. Let's not let the beta blocker wear off faster than it has to. Okay, so let's go on to the next one, shall we? Quentin Tarantino, fuck yourself. As I say, I don't want to get wound up. Have you guys heard about this? George Lucas, okay, the guy that did like Star Wars and all that stuff. He has, I guess, run out of ideas of like what to do with his money, and instead of like helping people, at this point in his what's the word I'm looking for? In this point in his riches, stature. I don't know where I'm going with this. So anyway, he's I didn't even know this was getting built, but apparently it's getting built. It's opening next year in September in LA. He has self-funded, along with his wife, a $1 billion art museum. And while, I love an art museum, don't get me wrong, but do we need that in LA right now? Do we need a $1 billion like art museum? Like who's going to benefit from this money? Are you going to like help people get back on their feet from the Palisades and the Eaton and the Altadena fires from this year? Who's this gonna help? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's crazy. Like, he's making his own fucking art museum, like this ego trip. Like, you know what? Let's do a museum about me that's shaped like a fucking spaceship or whatever the hell. And like, it honestly looks like the fucking Enterprise. So, eat shit, George Lucas. Apparently this thing's going to be like 300,000 square feet. It's going to have more than 40,000 works in it. It's going to have like all kinds of artists in it. Like, don't get me wrong. It'll have like Norman Rockwell and like Frida Kahlo and like Beatrix Potter. And like, I mean, there's going to be like a bunch of like cool stuff in there, but like, I just feel like personally with LA, money could be like more suited at this point in time. Like the culture isn't helping the people on the streets. The culture isn't helping the fucking homeless people. The culture isn't stopping the wildfires that Gavin Newsom is saying to just let burn. I mean, like, this isn't helping anybody. Yes, we need art. We need all these things, but like LA needs other things right now. We don't need this right now. I know this has probably been ongoing for a long time. They've been building it, this, that, blah, 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 blah. But I don't care. He's got enough money that he could have like stopped when all this was going on and was like, you know what? I'm gonna like turn this thing into like housing.
You talking to me?
And anybody from the fucking fires can start applying that still doesn't have anywhere to live, still trying to get on their feet, all this stuff. Like, that's what George Lucas should be doing, not fucking finishing this museum. You got the money. You already put billions of dollars into it. You can turn it around. Sorry, I said what I said. Frida can go sit somewhere else. Frida's been sitting other places. She's fine. She don't need to be over here anyway. Fucking L.A. coming over to America. I don't think Frida Kahlo would want her shit over here, to be honest. I think she'd be like, leave me away from these people. Anyway, so that's what's going on with George Lucas. I mean, I'm irritated about it. There's not much more to say. I'm irritated about it, I think it's kind of just like a $1 billion ego trip, like nobody funded this other than him and his wife. I mean, it's cool that he's having other artists in there, but at the end of the day, it's not really helping anybody in the immediate or long term. Who knows? This could go completely fucking under. I mean, the Academy Museum, that's worth it. It's only like $25. And then you could also like join a membership or whatever, and then you can go all year round, and if you live in LA or whatever. So like that stuff's cool. I guess you can do that with other museums, but like I don't think George Lucas's fucking little museum's gonna be $25 a ticket. I'll tell you that. So yeah. So if you want to go check that out, September 2026. But if you don't want to, and you want to put your money in somewhere else, and you want to donate it somewhere, donate it to a family in need, from the Palisades or the Eaton or Altadena fires from January, because that's still going on. All right, this one's kind of crazy. So this is an update. I've been giving you guys updates about this story since fucking April at this point now. Scott Schreiner, the bassist from Weezer, love you, man. His wife, Jillian Lauren, has filed for divorce. Yes, the same wife that he stayed married to after she got arrested for shooting at the police after she got shot at because there was some fucking crazy shit going on, and it happened right before they went to Coachella, and they still played, and I was like, found a whole new respect for fucking Weezer and Scott Schreiner this year. Like, honestly, I was like, good for them. So now I'm kind of like, when I see little bitch ass musicians I just really can't, I've just been, it's really hard right now. I'm like, Scott Schreiner literally was dealing with getting his wife out of fucking jail for attempted murder charges against a police officer in LA, and still went to Coachella and played that weekend, and then still played the following weekend. So I don't want to hear any fucking excuses. Anyway, so Jillian that was married to, or is married to, Scott from Weezer, is quoted saying, "My world fell to pieces around me in a heartbeat," is what she recalls from the bizarre standoff in LA with police in April. She is a best-selling true crime author, I guess. So what was this fucking? She was just trying to get herself in some shit so she could have material. Oh my God. I hope not. 8 months after Lauren made headlines for a convoluted standoff with the LA police in the spring, she opened up in an interview with Rolling Stone published this past Saturday. "I was doing the best I knew to protect my family," Lauren told the outlet of the bizarre incident that occurred in her neighborhood of Eagle Rock in April. The impulse was self-defense. The incident in question involved the New York Times bestselling author being shot by police after opening fire on hit-and-run suspects in her neighborhood. According to a press release issued by the LAPD after the incident, Lauren was struck by gunfire in an officer-involved shooting and retreated into her home before returning outside, where she was taken into custody. She was initially arrested on suspicion of attempted murder of a peace officer, but was eventually charged with assault and negligent discharge of a firearm. So, I think it was just, wrong place, wrong time. She got caught up in something. She was, she got shot and then shot at what she thought she was getting shot. So I think it was just a bad situation. So lucky for her. In September, Lauren avoided jail time and was granted a mental health diversion by the LA County Superior Court, which we know about. Under the terms of the agreement, the mother of two is ordered to avoid the use of drugs and alcohol, attend therapy, and not own firearms. "My world fell to pieces around me in a heartbeat. It's like you spend your whole life just getting an entire deck of cards in order and just take them and throw them up in the air one day. And I'm still waiting to see how they're going to land." The mother of two recalled being arrested and taken to jail, where she said she tried to memorize the graffiti on the walls as a way to get out of my head. When the mental health diversion headlines came out, my joke was, I'm not just a gun-toting criminal. Now I'm a crazy one. My PTSD is a very real thing. I'm a victim of sex trafficking and domestic violence. When the headline said mental health diversion, what I really thought was, okay, good. People are so scared to talk about this. I'm in a position where I can speak to it. But Lauren's time in the headlines didn't end there. Earlier this month, the author was thrust into the spotlight again when it was announced that she filed for divorce from Schreiner after 2 decades of marriage. They tied the knot in November of 2005 and welcomed 2 sons over their 20-year marriage, Giovanni Starshine and Taraku Moon. They shared the news in a joint Instagram post a few days after their divorce made news. Looking back with pride on the world we built, we marvel at our magnificent boys, our brightest lights. We'll always miss the wild at heart kids we once were, drinking milkshakes, driving through the desert night just to see the Grand Canyon. We'll always share the wonder we saw in each other's eyes when we first held our children. The same wild hearts that brought us together carry us now in different directions. We'll forever be a family united in love, laughter, and music. Thank you all for the confetti shower of support and friendship throughout the years. It's been beautiful.
I grieve different.
Lauren told the outlet that she and Schreiner had been growing apart for years, and the incident with the police pushed everything to a crisis point. I had to go back and work on trauma from a long time ago in order to try and understand myself now, my actions. The headlines about the divorce were the ones that really hurt me. I was the one who served my husband, but still, to set it in the public was really, to see it in the public was really painful. It was definitely a day spent under the covers, blocking out all the noise. Lauren didn't list a date of separation and cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for her filing. In addition to asking that her last name be restored to Lauren, she requested the court grant her spousal support while asking that Schreiner's ability to be granted support be terminated, and is seeking joint legal and physical custody of their sons. Despite the split, Lauren asserted that she and Schreiner maintain an amicable relationship. He's still my best friend. We still have beautiful kids together and have always really supported each other in our various transformations. Lauren shared that she's relying on her tight circle of friends. They've circled the wagons around me when the ships are really down. You do find out who your friends are. My tree was shaken, but is still standing. So that's what's going on there with that. So sad. He stood by her. He was like, I'll fucking, yeah. I thought that's what was going on anyway, but I guess she was like getting some shit worked out. Now she's worked out her shit. She's like, yeah, I don't want to be in this marriage anymore. That's sad. Sad, but that was crazy. That was pretty crazy. I'm not going to lie. So, all the best to Jillian, Lauren, and Scott Schreiner. And Weezer. Of course. We love Weezer.
Favorite line, dog, in due time. Now they look at me like, damn, dog, you what I am. A hip-hop legend. I think I died in an accident, cause this must be heaven.
Christmas, I gave you my heart. So this is Christmas.
Okay, my little Bumbabees, I have one more story for you before I finish off with my holiday message and our end of year in memoriam tribute for all the lost entertainment stars and people in Hollywood that we've lost over the year that, matter to me. There will be some that you will know are missing, or maybe you noticed I've missed. I know all the people that have died. I didn't miss anybody. I'm putting every single person that has made an impact on my life in one form or another, and I wanted to put in my tribute. So without further ado, last up on the docket. So Harry Hamlin, Lisa Rinna's husband, aka also just, actor over the years and, whatever he does. So sauce maker recently these days. So Harry Hamlin sat down on Lisa Rinna, his wife's podcast. Let's Not Talk About the Husband. And I guess they do it together, maybe. I don't listen to it. Sorry, Lisa. I mean, I like Lisa Rinna, but I just, I got too much shit going on. I can't add another thing. So apparently he sat down with her and confessed that one time when he was in jail in 1970, he was forced to take the hallucinogenic drug PCP. Another Dewey Cox reference today. Another Dewey Cox PCP. He was briefly in jail as a young man and was forced to take the PCP. This is what he says to Lisa. He says, in jail, I was forced to smoke PCP. I was so stoned because an inmate forced me to take 3 or 4 hits of it, and I was completely messed up after I had that. Jesus. He was jailed in 1970 after he was caught with 25 pills given to him by members of his fraternity. I was at Berkeley, and my upperclassmen in the fraternity house came to me before I was going down to Los Angeles for Thanksgiving and said, take these pills down and give them to another house at USC. They need these for their exams. So I take them down, and they didn't want the pills, so I had to take them back. The actor admitted that he traveled back to school on the plane with the pills repacked in his guitar case, to which Rinna responded, do you think that was very smart? Obviously not, because I ended up in jail, he said. Hamlin said he had a connection with the warden of the jail, as his brother was an actor in the acting school at Berkeley, where he was also a member of the drama department. I sit down with the warden and my lawyer, and we all have a cheeseburger together. It sounds like a fucking movie. And the warden says, listen, when you get there, don't worry about anything. I'll make sure that you're okay. The actor said that he ended up in a holding cell with a young man who was crying his eyes out. He felt pity for the young man, and so he asked the prison guards if they could allow him to share a cell with him, and the pair were both in a felony cell together. The young man was eventually released on... What the hell? The young man was eventually released on bail, leaving Hamlin in a jail with the felons, he recalled. The next day, Hamlin claimed he went to breakfast and was offered a joint by an inmate, to which he refused multiple times. Hamlin added that the inmate was persistent. However... And Hamlin eventually caved in, tried it, not realizing it was PCP. That's how I was forced to have PCP. Somebody had brought in a little sack of rolling tobacco that was soaked in PCP, so they were smoking it, and there was no odor, but they were high as kites. So when you're in jail, don't smoke the unknown rolled tobacco joints or whatever the hell. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Fucking PCP. Jesus. My God. That reminds me of that scene from fucking Girls, when what's her name, Shoshana, fucking at that party in Brooklyn or whatever at a warehouse, and she takes somebody's she thinks it's a bowl or something. She thinks she's smoking weed, and she smokes crack or meth or something like that. I don't fucking know. I don't know what she smoked. I think it was crack. That she smoked, and then she freaked out because she found out that she smoked crack, and then she's running around, and that's when she meets Ray and her boyfriend, the guy that becomes her boyfriend or whatever, because he's trying to help her or whatever, and he's trying, following around the whole night, and he rescues her. Anyway, but that's what it reminds me of. Don't smoke the unknown rolling tobacco joints in jail. That's all I got to say about that. But, yeah. So, yeah, everybody, all I got to say is, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Merry Krampus. Hold your loved ones close, let people know that you care about them while you have them in your life. Life is short. Life is fleeting. Take the time for yourself if you need to. If you don't really feel like talking to people, don't. But let them know you don't feel like talking, because they might worry. Or worse, they might, start thinking about jumping off a bridge themselves. It's just considerate, empathy goes a long way. But yeah, so thanks for everything, guys. This has been a big year for me. We've accomplished a lot, with this podcast. I've accomplished a lot with this podcast. This is this year I made my first documentary ever, Hollywood True Crimes, John Lennon. Yeah, I've done the Hollywood True Crimes audios in the past, but this is my first time doing video with it. So this is my first like documentary, 2-part documentary over 5 hours long. Like, I mean, that's a pretty big deal. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Snoop made it through yet another year, even though he's pissing me the hell off over there and just being groany and moany because I'm not fucking paying attention to him every waking second. So don't judge me for, being pissy with him right now. So, love is still there. Hopefully. But yeah, hopefully this next year will be even better. I've accomplished a lot. I've done a lot. I've increased my following by like 3,000%. Like, it's like ridiculous, like 4,000%. Like, I didn't start this year off with 1,000 followers. I'm almost at 5,000 now. So, and even on TikTok, I've grown on, there and everything. And, YouTube, I've grown. And, thank you, universe. I see that 444. And just, in other areas of life, I've grown. And, got to remind myself that I got to be patient with myself. I got to take my time. I got to take care of myself. I can't just like power through everything in life. Sometimes you need to just take things for what they are and not make them something that they're not. I hope that can help you in whatever way. Yeah, so I just hope that things will continue on an upswing for me. The holidays are hard in general for me and, whatever else. So I think, I'm not depressed, but it's depressing. But, I think everybody should just do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Be with the people that make you happy. Give people the opportunity to make you happy. At the end of the day, we all need someone that's going to support us and make us feel loved. That's not just our family or friends or something like that. So I think it's important that we all love those people in our lives. So, because you don't get too many of those in your life. If you're grateful to get love, a couple times, you're lucky. But, the older you get, you understand that it doesn't come around as often anymore. And you should cherish it when you have it because you don't know when it's going to end. So without further ado, I'm going to just end this episode that way. I'm not even going to give you a little final spiel. I know you love me. You really love me.
You love me. You really love me.
But this year is about the people that we've lost and the people that we want to hold on to. So, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays from the Bumbacast. Here's the in memoriam.
What a heavy load Einstein must have had. Fucking morons everywhere. If you're playing the movie on a telephone, you will never in a trillion years experience the film. You'll think you have experienced it, but you'll be cheated. It's such a sadness that you think you've seen a film on your fucking telephone. Get real.
by the Jewish studio moguls in Hollywood on account of the way black folks have been portrayed in film. Now, it's only germane to this argument in as much as I feel that the grievances in the music business are far worse.
You're talking to the wrong white man, my friend. My people were the white man's nigger when yours was still painting their faces and chasing zebras. As far as Louis B. Mayer is concerned, what are you, fucking nuts?
Christmas, man. I fucking hate it with a passion.
Fuck Christmas, I hate it.
Christmas is... I don't really like Christmas. I don't dislike Christmas. Christmas is for kids, you know. It's bloody hard work for a parent. It's really hard if you're a parent and you've got kids. I mean, kids just go crazy. It's their time of the year, but I think Christmas now has been spoilt so much somewhat in the respect that they capitalised on all the time. And now, Christmas is over and they start, only 322 days left for Christmas. It's February, you know, wow. You know, people go crazy, like, in England, they hype people up, you've got to buy, you know, spend money. And it's just for 3 days, you know. I mean, the Christmas spirit is goodwill to all men, and I think that the world should remember that, you know, that it's not just spending money, it's just remembering one time of the year that we're all living on one planet and we all should hold hands, I suppose. I don't know.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Osborne.
Sharon, I just had a terrible dream.
What?
I dreamt it was Christmas. I hate Christmas. What?
The Christmas special.
What Christmas special?
The one that we're going to be doing here in a week.
With who?
With you.
Well, and you?
Yeah.
Doing what?
And the kids, just having people over and just doing nice things, decorating the tree and, you know. Right?
I hate Christmas.
The running's over. It's time to rest. Give me your hand. Trust me.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Judge. Mr. Coelho, you are charged with a school zone violation. Beg pardon? You are charged with a school zone violation, which means that you were exceeding the speed limit in a school zone. I don't drive that fast, Judge. I'm 96 years old and I drive slowly, and I only drive when I have to. I was going to the blood work for my boy. He's handicapped. You were taking your son to the doctor's office? Yeah. I take him for blood work every 2 weeks because he's got cancer. You are a good man. You are a good man. You really are what America is all about. Here you are in your 90s, and you're still taking care of your family. That's just a wonderful thing for you. Well, how old is your son? 63. Yeah. And Daddy's still taking care of him, right? I only drive when I have to. Yeah. You see that young man over there? That's my son. Now, he's looking at me saying, Dad, when you're in your 90s, you're going to be driving me around. You're setting a bad example for my kid. No. You're putting a lot of pressure on me. Listen, sir, I wish you all the best. I wish the best for your son, and I wish you good health. And I wish you good health, and your case is dismissed. Good luck to you, and God bless you. Thank you.
And don't tell me what to do, and don't tell me what to say. And when I go out with you, don't put me on display. Pretty good. You remember? Amen! You're both selfish assholes! Oh my God! It's enough! Have we forgotten what we're doing here? What has happened to us? I thought we were supposed to be helping each other, not ripping each other to shreds! Hit me! I love that.
Oh, Michael. Michael, you are blind. It wasn't a miscarriage. It was an abortion. An abortion, Michael. Just like our marriage is an abortion. Something that's unholy and evil. I didn't want your son, Michael. I wouldn't bring another one of your sons into this world. It was an abortion, Michael. It was a son, and I had it killed because this must all end. I know now that it's over. I knew it then. There would be no way, Michael. No way you could ever forgive me. Not with this Sicilian thing that's been going on for 2,000 years. I am 3,000%. I'm moving back to civilization. I'm going to get myself a nice little apartment, watch HBO, and have a real life again.
He likes my work. He doesn't like me.
Normal child.
Ow! God damn you, okay?
Hey, you.
And you are more normal than any other asshole sitting at this table.
A movie in Central Park. How many people this week have come up to you or stopped and shouted, "Hey, meathead"?
1,241. Let's see if anybody else will.
You're on 10 on your guitar. Where can you go from there?
Anytime you have a movie that stands the test of time, that's a great thing.
I'll see you. Not if I see you first.
Sorry, Harry. I know it's New Year's Eve. I know you're feeling lonely, but you just can't show up here, tell me you love me, and expect that to make everything all right. It doesn't work this way.
Well, how does it work?
I don't know, but not this way.
How about this way? I love that you get cold when it's 71 degrees out. I love that it takes you an hour and a half to order a sandwich. I love that you get a little crinkle above your nose when you're looking at me like I'm nuts. I love that after I spend a day with you, I can still smell your perfume on my clothes. And I love that you are the last person I want to talk to before I go to sleep at night. And it's not because I'm lonely, and it's not because it's New Year's Eve. I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
You see? That is just like you, Harry. You say things like that and you make it impossible for me to hate you. And I hate you, Harry. I really hate you.